Okay guys, finding your foundation shade is truly not that hard. Like low-key it's kind of hard because I still kind of struggle with it, but like high-key it's not that hard because there's really only 2 steps that you need to follow to get at least a basic understanding of how to find your foundation shade. First one is undertones. You have 2 sorts of undertones. You have warm undertones, which is what I would be considered. It's lots of yellowy, goldeny, orange sort of colors that are under the skin, that are the ones that's showing through. Whenever I go and get foundations, I'm looking at peach, I'm looking at yellow. These are sort of basey colors that I'm looking for, and then I know I can go within that area to then find my shade. And that's step number 2. And it's really that easy. When it comes to shade finding, unless you're going somewhere like super fancy, like maybe like Ulta or Sephora or MAC, where they're gonna like do it on your face so you can actually see it, you're gonna be swatching it here. You never swatch here. Don't ever swatch here, and ignore my quarantine finger, please. Always swatch here is the closest resemblance to the skin color on your face. Okay, so you have warm. Examples for warm would be bronze, goldy hair, copper hair, earth tones. And then cool would be things like silver hair, gray hair, jewel tones like amethyst or sapphire. So that's the sort of like tonal things that you're looking at that you can also use in like hair color choices and like clothing choices. So the more you know. Let's get into a little bit of like play. I have a few things here. I don't have that much because most of these foundations and concealers are my shade, but I do want to kind of show you the difference in some of these things here, okay? Here I'm going to be playing with this foundation because this is my Maybelline Fit Me, and this shade is Spicy Brown in 338. Perfect undertone, pretty much my shade, a little bit on the orangey side, but it does the job. You really don't know once you add all the concealer and the contour to it. What I would consider to be more my perfect shade, more so I mix these 2 together. Pro tip, I'll say tip number 3, sometimes you're a little bit warm and a little bit cool. You know, sometimes you're a little bit neutral and a little bit warm. So sometimes you have to mix and play with these, and that's why you swatch. When you swatch, you can see the 2 together. So what I'm going to show you, you're going to be able to see the comparisons and the differences between the 2. Ooh, that's a bad swatch. You can see that it's the same undertone, and you can see that this foundation seems to fit my skin a little bit better, especially on the undertone. It's way more on the like yellowy goldeny side versus this being a little bit more orangey. But this one's going to be a little bit too light once it's blended out. So this is a perfect example of looking at these 2 shades, seeing how different they are, but how they'll work well together to make my one shade. But even without it, if I only had to pick one, this would be the one. Because when you're doing your swatches, please also remember that this is a concentrated amount. So when you're blending it out, it's going to thin out, and it's not going to look as maybe dark as you're actually thinking. So this looks nice and dark and tan to my skin, but when it thins out, it's going to give me a little bit of a gray casty color because it's just a little bit too light. Swatching will save your life. Do it whenever you can. That way you save money and time, I promise you. Concealer follows the same exact undertone rule. Warm and cool shades. Sometimes you gotta combine, sometimes you don't. So for example, I have this is the Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and it's in the color Honey. Let's just swatch that here for you. Now this is a little bit cool for me. It does the job, but it's a little bit on the cool side. You can see that it's a little bit more neutral based, even though you see yellow in it, and that's why it works. It's a peachy sort of base to it, but it's getting pretty cool. And so sometimes, since we're looking a little ashy, this is a perfect example of one that I should have never bought, and somehow I still managed to use so much of, because this is what I mean by sometimes I struggle. Look at this. Oh no, I didn't even know what I was thinking. Now this is a perfect example of something that's this is neutral. You see a little bit of yellow, but you can clearly see that there's a little bit of a pink base in there, as well as you can see such the difference between how this is warm and this is clearly not warm. When you do your concealer should always be 2 shades lighter than your foundation. So this works out well. See that comparison right here, boom. Video. This was never gonna work. I don't even know who I thought I was. I don't even know why I was playing myself. I only have one contour to show you. So And we're just gonna slide that bad boy right through here. Ooh, got on my foundation. Oh well. You can see that this is more of a reddy, sort of blue, purpley. So this is something that we would consider to be cool. And it works with me sometimes, but most times it doesn't. And that's because I'm not a cool undertone. It doesn't work well with the two warm tones on my face. So if y'all know a good, like a warm, undertoned contour color, you let Sissy know, because Miss here needs it. So, as well as your contour should also be 2 shades darker than your foundation. And then when you blend all this together, it looks awesome sauce, right? So look, so I'm gonna do this side of my face really quickly, like a quick little thing. And I'm gonna show you what it looked like when all the right colors and shades is put it together. All right, little quick. You can see my contour coming out naturally. You see that it's a nice little warm high point here, and you can see that my neck matches my face, and that's what's important, right? So this is like a little quick informative thing. I don't really know if you guys found it informative or whatnot, and if I said something wrong or you have more information about it, just drop it down below, and love correcting criticism, because like I really bought this and then used most of the bottle. Like, what was I thinking? So clearly Sissy Poo needs a little bit of help, but I promise you those 3 things will definitely make it so much easier for you. Knowing your undertone, knowing your shade, and then knowing that sometimes you gotta dibble dabble and mix them a little bit to get that perfect iconic you shade. Yeah, so make sure you guys are subscribed. You're already here, and I hope you liked the video. Make sure you let me know what you want to see below. Make sure you're giving me a thumbs up, and as I always say, I came to serve you, sis, and you know this.